We're rolling. Guys, a lot happened last week. I know I say that every week, but also I wanted to say this. I caught myself while shaving today. I just wanted to point that out just because I feel like it's going to be something that you guys notice. But I feel like this past week, and I made sure to write everything that I really wanted to talk about down this time, which I'm really glad I did because some of these things I forgot to mention to you guys last week, even though I said I thought I got everything, but I didn't. Anyways, today I have cocoa, hot cocoa, and what I did yesterday, and I kind of like this. So, with this whole Starbucks boycott thing and just this whole thing, I feel like I wasn't taking the boycotts very seriously, but I kind of realized how messed up that was. So I was like, let me fix this right now. I still have the Starbucks cup that I got, but in my head, the boycott, the point of it is to not continue giving these companies your money, but I will cover the logo because it's a nice cup. So until I get my hands on another cup, I'm just gonna use this one for now because I don't want to throw this away, you know? But anyways, aside from that, what I've been doing with the cocoa yesterday, so this is this random hot chocolate mix I found at Target. And today I put a little bit of Hershey's cocoa powder in it. It's unsweetened, that's why I don't use that one typically. And then I poured milk. And I do hot water and then I like fill it up to here, like here, and then I fill this up with milk. I don't know why, but I feel like just water is too watery to me. It's just not good, you know. But then just milk is too rich for me, so I kind of like mixing both together. And then what I did was I poured a little bit of iced coffee in here, and it's not a lot at all. In fact, it's probably just a few tablespoons. And the reason I did that is because I'm trying to think about it. I'm like, I'm gonna placebo it, and my brain is like, oh, there's caffeine in this. It's not a lot, but there's still caffeine in it. And I feel like it still gives me that gratification and that, burst of, oh my gosh, I'm getting caffeine, without all that caffeine. And the mixes that I got, I feel like are pretty friendly in terms of sugar intake. So I had 2 cups of this yesterday and nothing happened to my face. I'm sure you guys also noticed I got a haircut, which I also wanted to talk about because that's good. I realize for me, haircuts are sorry, my glasses are like crooked and it's like bothering me. Just whatever. So I realized yesterday, well, I knew for a while that haircuts for me are pretty spiritual or they're kind of a letting go kind of moment. But I kind of realized when I get haircuts, I look better, I feel like I glow more or I feel like there is more shine to my face. So I realized I needed a haircut anyways, but hold on, let me get comfortable. And I just, I realized I needed a haircut and I kind of, because I feel like I've been hanging on to a lot of things. And I feel like when my hair gets too long, my skin gets worse. And I don't know. I just realized when my hair gets too long, I just look more sad and I just don't look my best, So, yeah, and I love my barber. He's super nice. Although one time he did find my YouTube channel and he told me that tarot cards are witchcraft. And he was like kind of lecturing me about it, but I was just like, no, you know. I understood where he was coming from, but I was like, no, this isn't. Anyways, so there's a lot of things I did this past week. I bought a few things. I wanted to show you guys all of it. There's one thing I won't be showing you. It's just this piece of clothing, and it was just this black turtleneck. It really was just, it's not in the closet because it's over at the washer and dryer, but it was literally just imagine a plain black turtleneck. No design, no nothing, just a plain black turtleneck. That's what I got. And I also got a blanket, an oracle deck, and this other shirt. And I also got socks. I got fuzzy socks. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see it? These have gingerbread men on them. I'm sitting on my desk today, which is kind of new. I also got some more fuzzy socks. I got 5 pairs, and the reason I got socks is because when my feet are warm, I sleep so good, or I realize that a lot of my discomfort in the cold is because my feet are cold. My whole body can be freezing, but if my feet are warm, I'm Gucci. So that's why I decided to invest. And I found the exact brand that I was looking for at Walmart, so I was really happy about that. But above all else, I feel like the reason I'm also doing this is because I want to invest into myself for the winter. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like last year I knew subtly that I needed to invest in myself for the winter. Get warm clothing, get nice clothes, get wintry things, drink hot drinks that I really like and things like that. But I just didn't, I wasn't confident. My financial situation was way worse, and I was just so unhappy, and I just didn't have it in me. I was going through so much last year around this time because eclipse season was literally in Taurus and Scorpio, and I'm a Taurus moon, Scorpio sun. Horrendous. But above all else, I feel really good about this winter because I'm really taking the steps to invest into myself, and like I keep saying, and because I remember last winter, I did see this Ace Tarot video, and she was like, you need to just get cozy for the winter. And I tried buying this blanket, total flop. The blanket's in my car. It was just this plain gray blanket, and I didn't like it because when I washed it, it got little fuzz balls all over my clothes, all over my other blankets, and I had to sit there and lint roll my sheets, and it was just so irritating, and it wasn't even that soft. It wasn't an investment that it wasn't even an investment. I feel like I got it at Target, which was a mistake, honestly. I feel like if I'm gonna get a blanket, I should go to other places. So what I did was I went to Marshall's, and their blankets are fabulous and they're really cheap, I feel. So I got this one. It's so cute. It has little hedgehogs with Santa hats and holly berries and mushrooms. And it reminded me of my mom. And it was kind of funny because there was two blankets that I really liked. It was this one and another one, and it had dogs on it instead. And I asked this girl who was just sitting in the aisle looking at other stuff herself, and I was like, which one should I get? She's like, you should get the hedgehog one. It's more Christmassy vibes because of the holly berries. So shout out to her, love her. And I felt like the dog one was the one my mom would get. And it made me think of her. So I feel like I have her vibes here, except with my own take, because it's like she would go for the dog one, I would go for the hedgehog one. So I really like that because when I was in Kentucky and I was living with her, she randomly just gave me a blanket that's this texture, like this soft, I don't even know what to call it, really soft textured blanket. And instead of this design, it had poinsettias all over it. Poinsettias, you know, you guys know what those are. But yeah, I was thinking about that blanket, and I just remembered how much I loved it. And I was thinking, wow, I should really get a blanket like that for myself for this winter because I feel like that blanket was really meaningful to me. It was important to me and I liked it. I wish I had brought it, and maybe I can ask my mom or my mom or dad to send it to me. But worst case scenario, I have this blanket now. But I wrote on here winter and slowing down because I remember I watched this video last year, and this girl, I forgot what her name was, but she was like, when nature slows down during winter, why don't we? Changing the lighting, changing your behaviors, changing your routines, changing how you dress and stuff like that. And that really resonated with me last year. And I honestly got to the video a little bit too late because I feel like the preparation for winter is the prime time to do this sort of stuff, because I feel like making transitions and changes to your life in the middle of winter is doable, but it's just not prolific. And I also feel like it is very draining, at least to me. So this year I feel like I've been a little bit antsy to get on a head start about it. And I feel like I've been not blowing, but spending a lot of money to do this. And I just feel really grateful that I even have the resources to live like this and to get all the things that I want right now. And I don't know, you guys. I don't want to come off that way because ultimately I have financially struggled all last year, honestly. I feel like I was really going through it. And I feel like up until maybe this spring, this past late spring, my financial situation improved so much more. And I'm so grateful, you know. I'm lucky, and I don't know. I really like expressing the gratitude, and I really like spreading that because I just want you guys to know that like it does get better. And you know, a lot of you guys are older than me, and you guys are probably in a lot more stable conditions than I am, but you know, I never I feel like I also want to mention that because I don't want to be all like, oh, I bought all these things, you know, and not express the gratitude that I have for these things, you know, because ultimately I know that I'm living a very privileged life right now, and I never take any of it for granted. But yeah, I've just been making a huge effort to slow down this winter and to, 11:11 on the camera. But I just been wanting to, you know, slow down and take my time and just really take a moment. And my other roommate finally moved out, as you guys know. Did I tell you guys last week? Yeah. Yeah, I told you guys. But I've been putting my car in the garage, and I feel really at peace. Because she called me, and I could tell that she was also at peace, that she was happier, and that she was living more comfortably now because she has her own place, you know? And that just, it made me feel really happy because at first I feel like I did cry when she left, but now I feel so grateful that she found something that she loves, and she found something that works for her and something that allows her to live the life that she's been wanting to live, you know? And I was like, girl, I'm coming with you. I'm gonna live a life that I wanna live too. And I just love that for her. And I was supposed to take her to LAX yesterday, but she never called me, and I was kind of glad because I did not want to go to LAX. And yeah, I'm really happy for her. And when she called me, I told her about all the things I've learned in regards to standing up for myself, you know, communication, and, you know, because I feel like the people that I live with and what I'm around is a lot of the energy that I take in. And I feel like we're all the same way, you know, but I feel like for me, it's even more so because I feel like I'm just very sensitive to the people around me. And when I'm around them for long periods of time, I feel like I start to take on their qualities, you know? And that's why I feel like it was so healthy for me to live with her because I feel like I took on a lot of her qualities, you know, in regards to standing up for self, being mean when you need to be, you know, and stuff like that. And I just feel like I don't know. I feel really grateful for all the lessons she's taught me. And I told her that, and she was like, nah, you know. And I told her, I was like, well, you can talk all you want, but I think you and I both know that, you know, who you live around has a big influence on what you become. And she was like, okay, that I'll give you. And so, in that sense, and it felt like she was proud of me, you know. She was like, oh, that's good, you know, but in a very genuine tone. So I could tell that she was happy for me, and I could tell that she was excited, or not excited, but, you know, glad that I learned something and that I bettered myself through living with her, you know? And, you know, even if she doesn't really care, to me, that's really meaningful. And I'm so grateful. And I also wanted to say, because let me show you. So I'm gonna segue into the next topic, and it's about this. So I got this Oracle deck. It's called the You Are Here Oracle deck by Monica Ann. And if you guys don't know of her, she is this artist. You can follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram's like Soft Babe Bloom, and she's super sweet. And I have a story to tell you guys about this Oracle deck. Maybe I'll Anyways, sorry, maybe I'll do a little card pull for us. I don't know. But basically, last year, exactly around this time, I'd say around October and November, I remember I found this Oracle deck and I really wanted it. I would see it in Asotero's videos and I was like, girl, let me get that. And to my dismay, it was completely sold out. And there is a reprint coming, you know, she is going to print this deck more, but I'm the kind of person that's like, I want it now, you know what I'm saying? So I was really, she did this random flash sale on her Instagram last week and I bought it. I don't know which day it was. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. And it came here on Friday, I think. She lives in California too, so it got here really quick. But, excuse me, she did a flash sale. And it literally felt like it was meant to be. I'm not joking, you guys, because I opened Instagram randomly and she had one deck. She was selling 4, she had 1 left. I was the luckiest alive. I was the luckiest. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was so pleased. I bought it right then and there. I was like, I cannot miss this opportunity. And I know she's gonna, like I said, I know she's gonna reprint, but I really wanted to use this deck in some of my videos. And it felt like a culmination point to me because last year I really wanted this deck and I feel like I kind of hyperfixated on it because I was also listening to this song called Say Something by Twice, and the song made me think of this deck and this deck made me think of that song. And I genuinely feel like it was healing to get this deck from me because it felt like the universe was listening to me, you know? I don't know. Now that I say these things and how I buy things, it feels a little bit compulsive, but genuinely, like, I feel like I have a very spiritual attachment to physical objects and anything of the nature. And I just kind of like, I love this. You know, I felt so good about myself. There's this song by Patsu called Letting Go. By the way, I highly recommend these 2 songs. I don't really share my music that often, but I love Letting Go. It's seriously one of my favorite songs. And I know it's going to be on my Spotify Wrapped, but it feels good because I remember these were things that distinct things I remember last year. And it feels like I'm, you know, doing this for a past version of myself that wanted it, you know? And it feels really good knowing that, sorry, my neighbor's like walking out her house and like distracting me, but do you get what I'm saying? It just feels like the end of that chapter of my life. And I feel like there's a lot of different things that have been closing that chapter of my life. But I feel like this was one of the pettier details that just really meant a lot to me, you know? I feel like my roommate moving out, getting this deck, me moving on with my life, it just really does feel like I'm completely closing a chapter of my life that was full of pain, that was full of misery, and that was just full of me navigating the most confusing things of my life, you know. This was when I wasn't so sure about my YouTube. I just knew I liked YouTube, you know. I just knew that I wanted to help people. And now I have almost 3,000 subscribers on Witch Obsession. And obviously that's not a lot, but I know I want it to keep growing and I know I want to keep investing into it. And I know I want to keep helping people in whatever way I can, you know. I don't know. It feels so right to me. It feels really good. And, you know, maybe sometimes it's a little bit tiring, but genuinely there are people that text me. They're like, oh my gosh, like if your reading was so accurate, everything you said happened, or like they'll be saying, oh, you really soothed my anxiety. And just, it feels like I'm being something that I really wished I had when I was going through tough times. And sorry, I don't know why. Excuse me again. I'm about to sneeze. Okay. Sorry. Anyways, it feels really good that I'm doing something that I feel really good about. I don't know. I love you guys so much and I love what I've created for myself so far and I just want to keep going with it. And I know it's something that I want to do for a while. But yeah. And I feel like this deck and everything that I've mentioned is just, I don't know, just feels really nice. Anyways, aside from that, I also wanted to talk about this video that I saw, and I feel like it's a combination of 2 things that kind of merge into the same topic. But so there's this YouTube channel on YouTube, and she goes by Manifestel, and her name is Elle, and she basically just makes content for her. She calls her fans in the group the spoiled girlies group, and obviously I'm not a girl, but you know, I just be watching her content because she was, and I was watching this video and she was all like talking about finding a good man or wanting a good man and stuff like that. And that's the content I like to watch. But I kind of had this little realization yesterday because it's kind of this thing where I'm starting to realize that as a gay man, it's not really ideal or not, and sometimes unhealthy for me to go about what a good man is based on how a woman has described it. Not because there's anything wrong, but more so because I'm just not a woman. You know what I mean? I feel like, this is pretty obvious, but the what women have access to and what role they play in society is completely different from what a gay man plays in society. And I kind of realized that while I was watching the video because I was like, I don't really care to have a man that, because here in heterosexual culture, I feel like a good man is described as one that provides and protects, and takes care of his family and takes care of his partner, his wife and his girlfriend and stuff like that. And that's just my perception as a gay man and what I have noticed about what people say what a good man is. And I'm sure a lot of other people can agree, but I'm also a man, and I feel like even though I am still in a unwelcoming society where I'm still oppressed to a degree, I feel like I still have a lot of privileges and a lot of leeway because I am still a man, and therefore I feel like I still have a foot in the patriarchy. And so basically what I'm trying to say here is this world is still built for my kind, and it's just, I kind of thought about it a lot, and I feel like these opinions can be a little bit controversial. So if you guys disagree or something, do feel free to talk about it in the comments, and I would love to see your viewpoints on it. But a lot of these are just my feelings, and excuse me, I feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to talk about this, but I feel like I want to define for myself as a gay man, a gay Asian man, what a good man is, because I feel like a good man is just, like I said, it's completely different from me because I'm a man too. I can protect and provide for myself, I still have a lot of privileges in this society. And I just really want to find something new for myself, or I really want to define something for myself, because there's this part of me that feels like if I keep going off of what women have described as good men, there's a level of conformity that seems to come there because I am not a woman, And I feel like because of that, it seems as if though a lot of gay men seem to want a heteronormative relationship, with another man, where there's one that's more masculine or one that's more feminine, and you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the man and the woman in the relationship. And that's totally fine, I don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, I don't like when people dog on that because it's just, you can't hate on people for wanting that for themselves, even if it is a little bit far-fetched, but they ultimately want their own interpretation of that and they want their own version of that. I saw this TikTok and this guy was like, I hate when gays want like a heteronormative relationship. And they were like, I don't like it because they look down on those that don't. And I understand that part. I don't think that it's appropriate to look down on other people just because they don't want the same things that you want, obviously. But I just feel like you're not doing much better by looking down on them or hating on them, I just feel like you are stooping to their level to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That was just my take on it. And I feel like the LGBT community is still extremely unwelcoming, and I feel like there is still a lot of discrimination within it. But yeah, I feel like I want to, because I knew I always wanted an unconventional relationship, and I always wanted an unconventional man, because I feel like me myself I am an unconventional man. And so, I don't want something that is typical or everyday, because that would ultimately not serve me, especially for an extended period of time. I want something new. I want something different, because it's just, we're both bringing two of the same thing to the table. And because of that, I want something that is different. I want something that is, we can play off of that interesting dynamic. And I feel like for me, there was one thing, there's a few things that she said in the video Manifestel that were absolute bangers. She was like, you need to stop hating men. You need to understand that there are good men out there, and you need to start looking for them. You need to stop subconsciously looking for behaviors that validate your perception of men because you hate them. And that just like blew my mind, you guys. It's pretty simple, but to me, I was like, she's right. I was like, because I did realize that I was, in fact, looking for terrible men, or that I was looking for terrible qualities within men, because I was trying to validate this narrative within myself, and it feels like it's because there's a part of myself that's wounded by men. And I realized that that's something that I really want to change. And okay, this kind of segues into another topic, because I was watching this video by, I forgot who they were, but it was pretty much this video essay commentary video on Regular Show, and the relationship between Rigby and Eileen, and Mordecai and Margaret. If y'all have not seen those shows, y'all are, I'm gonna sound like a raving lunatic, but if you have seen those shows, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I realized that Mordecai was selfish, and that the way that he went about pursuing Margaret was just so passive, and was just so like, it was weak, because he was he was waiting too long on the circumstances to line up, when there were plenty of times where he just needed to make a move. And because he waited so long, and because he let his fears get the best of him, he ended up doing some really messed up and some really selfish things. And I realized that I could totally see myself going down a path like that if I were to keep going the way that I was going even a few months ago. I feel like I've been getting better about it, but ultimately I know that there are still areas of my life that I need to improve when it comes to taking action in my relationships. And I feel like this is really good, considering the circumstances in regards to my relationships, like my friendships, the ones I've been talking about, the ones I got into a fight with and stuff like that. And I'm just really starting to realize what needs to change in my life, in my love life. And I'm being really patient with myself about it, because a lot of these things are very deep rooted, and I understand that this is not something that I can just completely change in the span of a few days. It's something that's going to take me another few months, even years. But I'm okay with that, because I'd rather become a better person, or I'd rather know I'm becoming better, as opposed to staying stagnant and sticking to old habits that don't do anything for me and keep me miserable. But yeah, I feel like for me also, the reason why I've always wanted an unconventional relationship is because I also want to represent, I also want to represent people like me, and I want to show people that you don't have to live the life that you feel like you've been cookie cut into in order to be something new, and to live something that's different, live something that you want to live. And obviously I'm very privileged to have the resources that I have in order to do so, but I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I once was very disadvantaged, and I feel like I took the opportunities that were presented to me in order to live the way that I wanted to live. The move to California just popped up randomly, but I knew that there was something there for me, something here for me. I don't know. That's just my take on it. And I also kind of realized that I need to be careful with what kind of women I surround myself with because of this whole thing, because I am so influenced by women and I am so sensitive to their opinions and feelings. And I feel like that can be very dangerous, especially around like specific women, you know, that just don't like themselves or don't. And I feel like this can really be said about anybody, you know, you don't generally want to be around somebody that's insecure, somebody that hates their life or just hates people like you. Because I realize a lot of my, you know, friends that are girls, they would constantly preach, I hate men, you know. A lot of my friends do that. They'll be like, I hate men. And I would kind of play into it too, be like, I hate men. And the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't hate men. I literally love men. I think that they're funny. I think that they're relatable because I'm also a man. And I feel like I think that they're beautiful creatures and I think that we're great, you know. I don't know. And it's just obviously there are some pretty horrendous, horrific, terrible men out there, but I also know that there are good men out there, ones with senses of humor, one with respect, ones that are trying to learn and do better. And I feel like the more that I enforce that narrative, even if it doesn't seem to be the case, I know that that's what I will start subconsciously seeking out and that's what I will attract into my life, you know? Because there are so many men in this world and I know for a fact not all of them are horrible, you know. And I want that for myself. I want to be surrounded by good men, you know. I want to be surrounded by men that make me feel safe, that make me feel related to and whatnot. And I realize that it really does begin with me not being around people that just hate men, you know, because I just feel like it's a sense of like they hate men and so I was absorbing that. And on top of that, it's just like they are also subconsciously seeking out terrible men, you know? And I'm not saying that in a way to blame them or anything, because ultimately there were experiences that they faced that made them feel that way. But also, it's just, I don't really want to be around people that allow experiences or allow their past to hold them back anymore or you know, decide what every person is or, you know, develop that prejudice because I just feel like that's something that I was doing for a really long time. And it kept me in this loophole that keeps me exploited, keeps me small, keeps me feeling, you know, self conscious, keeps me feeling not good about myself. And I don't want to do that anymore. I also just feel like it's very unhealthy to be around that for me sometimes because it's just like I'm a man too, and you're saying like I hate men, but then it's like you're the exception, and then I feel like I kind of have like this identity crisis where I'm like, what am I, you know? And I don't know because and another thing that I wanted to say about fitting in and me, you know, like seeing how I just fit into this world, I feel like this society is so unwelcoming towards homosexual relationships still, in the sense that I feel like a lot of homosexual relationships still are inspired or derive a lot of inspiration and dynamics from heterosexual relationships. And once again, there is not anything wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, it seems as if the homosexual relationships are always dependent on heterosexual relationships and heterosexual culture. And I feel like because of that, it just seems as if though it keeps us feeling stranded or it keeps us feeling some sort of way. And I feel like the more it goes on, it just the because this society excuse me, this society profits off of me trying to fit in, you know. This society profits off of people trying to, you know, speak up for themselves and do what they want to do, you know. And I feel like this can be applied to people outside of the LGBTQIA plus community, you know. I feel like it can apply to so many other different groups of minorities, but I just feel like, you know, because that's the group I'm a part of, I can totally see it. And, you know, because I feel like Pride Month, you know, it was designed in the beginning to acknowledge and celebrate, you know, the LGBTQIA plus, but now it's just turned into this money marketing scheme. And I kind of realized that a lot of people don't like, or this is how I feel. So this is my take on it and what I see. But I just feel like a lot of people don't want gay marriage or they don't want homosexual relationships because of money. You guys, I feel like okay, there's I feel like a lot of people in this world value money and tradition. I feel like those are the two main things, you know. And I especially think that the older generations, and I don't want to speak for y'all, you know, this ain't me saying, but this is my perception as a Gen Z, you know. As I look at older generations, I feel like there's a lot of them that kind of because they know. And I just figured out pretty recently, at least for how long it's been installed, that marriage comes with a different set of taxes. And people sometimes get married because you get benefits and you get like, you know, like these financial benefits. And I did not know that. And I was like, dude, that makes sense, you know, because these people don't care, you know, they don't care what I'm doing. They just, I don't know. And it's just like with this whole, I, I feel like there are some people out there that can't stand to see homosexual relationships benefit from heterosexual culture, you know? Just like how this world just like how this world shames women for like profiting off of patriarchy, you know? It's like I feel like when minorities take traditional things and things that are more conservative by nature and profit off of them, people get mad because you're making money off of something that was not designed for you, you know? And so when we find these like it really is kind of like that, you know? It's like coupons, you know? People get mad, people are upset with you, and that's my take on it, you know. And I just feel like because I thought about it, and you know, maybe there are some people that really are bothered by people being in same-sex relationships, but at the same, and I feel like there's a lot that goes into it too, especially in Asian culture, because you know, men carry the family last name, or you know, we carry the name. And you know, in my family, at least on my dad's side, my brothers and I are the last ones that carry the family name. And I feel like that's kind of, you know, I think that my brothers are going to be the ones that carry on the family name. So y'all do that. Have fun. But I just feel like that is another layer that kind of plays into misogyny, you know, because women, they marry out and they take on another family name, you know? That's just my take on it once again. I just want to say, like, again, like, these are a lot of just my feelings and thoughts on this, but I'm just kind of starting to realize it's actually terrifying. It is actually scary how deeply rooted, like, homophobia, misogyny, sexism, all these things are, because our world was literally built off of these things, and I'm like, girl, what the hell? And let me take a sip of my cocoa. But I just think it's wild, you know? But I feel like that's also why I feel all the more inspired to live my life the way that feels right to me and one that feels good to me. Even if I feel shame, even if I feel embarrassed, because I know that this world doesn't, or like, not this world, you know, not everything's about me, but like this society and how it's designed does not want me to do that, you know? It wants me to want to fit in. It wants me to want to play it by the rules because it makes money when I do. You know, it's like, oh my god, you guys, I literally can't right now. You, and it's just like, oh my gosh. I don't know, you guys. It just blows my mind because this world is dominated by patriarchy. It's dominated by the masculine. It's dominated by men. And I feel like for a lot of us, it's just kind of like when you water it down and when you really, like, at least in my eyes, when I water it down and when I just minimize it to the smallest possible thing, it's like a child wanting attention and love from their father, you know? And I feel like, you know, with the way that our society is built, because I feel like a lot of it is built off of the father, you know, with, you know, God and things like that. And, you know, not to say, listen, I love God, you know, we love God in this chat and we know that he out here, you know. Maybe not all the time is he the one that I pray to. Maybe not all the time is, you know, like, that's just not the religion that I go by. But I do respect people who believe in God, and, you know, but I just know that this society and a lot of this world is built off of him, you know, and based on it, what he said, you know, like, just on our money alone, you know, our bills, they have in God we trust. And lo behold, that bill is one of the most, if not the most important thing in this world, you know. It is what this world puts so much value into, you know. It is what this world is lying, cheating, and stealing for. And I just feel like when I put that into consideration, it's kind of like I feel like this society just benefits so much from when people feel like we want to be seen by it, you know, we want to fit in, you know, we want to be acknowledged by it, we want to feel like we have a place in it, you know. But yeah, that's just my take on it. Like I said, I hope you guys, you know, don't think I'm crazy or anything. I think I just have been thinking about it a lot, because I'm starting to kind of realize that, like, the more that I break away from these norms and the more that I choose to live the life that I like, the more that I am paving a path for people like me that maybe haven't been able to think for themselves like this, you know? Let me just. But yeah. Oh my gosh. It just. And that's why I want a good man, you know? And what, to me, so far, what a good man is one that acknowledges me, one that understands me, one that loves me, and one that I love and thinks is attractive. That's all it is to me, you know? I don't need, like, all these crazy checklist things of what a man is, you know? And, you know, like, listen, if I like him, if I like him, he like me, that's all that matters, you know? It don't matter what he is, you know? I don't care what the T is. If I like him, he like me, and it works, we out here, you know? We going, we riding, you know? I don't know, I just... Whew. Anyways, I didn't mean to get so passionate about it, but that was just something that I was really thinking about for a while. I also wanted to show you guys the coat jacket that I got. My bed's a mess right now because I haven't washed, or I need to wash the sheets. But I got this. I got it from Hollister. It's super cute. I don't know how I'm gonna pair it particularly, but it kind of has like a retro kind of... I feel like it has like a 1900s feel for some reason. You know, it's giving London. It's giving, you know, a rich woman that is going to a party or something, and she is not going to stay for a very long time because she has better things to do, because she's an important woman. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the vibes that it gave me. Let me get my blanket. It's cold. But yeah, it's just... Whew. My head hurts. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say. Anyways. Oh, also, so what I did was, I'm sure you guys saw it on Witch Obsession, but what I'm doing is, you can read my community post that I posted there if you want more details, but basically, I am trying to educate myself more on Palestine, and I'm trying to learn more about what's going on. If I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I'm still extremely ignorant on the whole situation, and I don't feel like it's as black and white as people are painting it out to be. And I feel like the only reason that there is edge in this situation is because of the fact that thousands, and if not millions, of people are being unalived for absolutely no reason. That is where, like, it does not matter what's going on. I don't care if Palestine spit in y'all's cereal. I don't care if Palestine literally, like, made fun of you, called you a slur. It do not matter. It ain't never a good there's never no reason, there's never a reason to kill people like that, you know? There's never a reason to do that, okay? It's just not appropriate. And that's why I'm standing up for Palestine, you know? That's why I'm like, free Palestine, you know? That's because it's just like, it don't matter what Palestine did. There is never justification for killing and, you know, like, unaliving innocent people. I keep saying the K word. I need to stop saying it. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to educate myself on it, and I want to donate more. But obviously, a lot of the money that I get is from my parents, and that's not my money to donate, if I'm going to be quite honest for you, because they give it to me so that I can buy things for myself and stuff like that. I don't know. You know, it's just like... But what I'm trying to do is, I sell my readings on Etsy for $5.55. And what I'm doing is I'm donating $1 for every order that I get. And I feel like this is still a meaningful way to donate, you know, because it's not that much, I feel, but it's what I can do considering my circumstances. And it feels nice because I feel like I'm giving something to the people, or I'm giving something to people, and they are giving me something, and then we're both giving something, you know. And it just feels really good, you know. I feel like it's a lot of positivity, and I feel like it's a lot of, you know, like it feels like a win-win kind of thing. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I thought about doing $2, but I feel like that would dig too much into my profits, and I literally cannot afford that. But you know, it's what I can do for now. But obviously, if I gain more followers, if I gain more traction on my YouTube and stuff like that, I want to donate even more, and I want to find ways. And I don't know, it's just because when I found out about what's going on with the families, it literally it breaks my heart, because I I can't fathom that, you know. There's no way I can feel what that is, you know. There's no way for me to understand what's going on, what's happening to them, you know. There's nothing, because I grew up in such a comfortable, safe, privileged environment that I literally cannot fathom not even having running water. I had no water in my house for 2 days, and I lost my mind over it. Imagine not even being in a house. Imagine just being outside and you have to fend for your life. I literally can't fathom that, you know? And I just feel like anything that I say comes off as insensitive, because it's coming from a place of like, oh, I don't know what that's like, you know? But what I do know is that it's horrible. I don't know. And I want to help whatever way I can. And I want these people to just, you know, I want them to be happy, and I want them to live the life that I got to live, you know. And maybe right now it's not possible, but I know that one day it will be possible, and I know that one day it will get better. Maybe right now it doesn't, you know. But I saw this video, and this girl, she was like, why, you know, I don't know, because I feel like it's very dangerous for me to consume that content, because it makes me feel bad about how I'm living my life, you know. I'm living comfortably AF, you know. I'm sitting here recording on my iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I'm in a room that has heating, and I have food and water, and I'm like, dang, dude, like why me, you know? But I know for a fact that like it's just not healthy to think that way, and I know that they deserve this just as much as I do, you know. And so I'm using whatever I can to help them. But yeah, that's just my take on it. And I get kind of scared of talking about the topic, because I feel like literally everything I say comes off as performative or insensitive, just because of how horrible that situation is, you know, and how much pain they must be enduring. They some troopers out there, I swear. But yeah, I don't know. I hope Palestine, or I hope the people know that I love them, and I hope they know that I do notice what's going on, and that I'm trying to do my best to give out whatever I can and give out love without sacrificing my own sanity, and without sacrificing my own, you know, health and stuff like that, which, you know, I feel like it's still kind of selfish, but it's just it wouldn't be good for me, and it wouldn't be good for the world for me to sacrifice myself like that, or at least, you know, like throw away my own sanity for the sake of, you know, because I feel like a lot of the times when people are suffering, I feel like I feel bad for not suffering too, you know. But I just know that's not a healthy way of thinking, and I know that's not good for me. But yeah, didn't mean for it to get super emotional or sad or anything like that, but I just wanted to throw that out there, because above all else, I want, because I know like we're going through a lot collectively, you know, not just because of this Israel and Palestine thing, but I feel like there's so many other things going on in the world right now. But from what I've learned, I know it gets better, and I know that we will get through this, and I know that by the end of things, it will just be another piece of history, and it will just be one of those things that we look back on and learn from. Hopefully, because goodness gracious, I'm disappointed in this country right now. When I found out, dude, this really irritated me. I was going through this Instagram comment box, and these people were saying boycott Starbucks, right? And there were people that were saying, get your Starbucks, our tax dollars are already going towards it. And you guys are so crazy. That I was shocked. That was outrageous to me. So you know this thing is already being funded, and you're choosing to fund it even more. you're stupid. You don't know what you're doing, okay? And it's not just about the money, okay? It's not just about the money, okay? It's about morals. It's about doing what, it's about showing that you care in some way, shape, or form. I understand that not all of us can afford to do something about it because we're all struggling out here. But also, contributing to the problem in a way that is like, that just really irritated me. And I don't like to be the kind of person that forces people to make decisions or forces people to do things like that, because I feel like it shows their true colors. I don't want to be around them anyways. But that shook me. That really irritated me because I've been taking this boycott very seriously. You guys know how much I was getting Starbucks, and you guys know how much I love going to fast food joints, but lately I've been trying to avoid them as much as possible because I know that it's not good. Whew, just absolutely infuriating. But also, it's just not worth getting mad about because these people, they kind of suck, honestly, and I don't know. I think so, but maybe they're good people, but they're doing some horrendous things, Like, I don't know. I can't think of an analogy. And they're going to be the first ones to complain when the draft is here. They're going to be the first ones to complain when it becomes something that over here where we cannot live our day-to-day life, This is only escalating, okay? It's only getting worse, And not to be that way, but it is happening. It's something going to happen over here, all right? When stuff like this happens, it just continues to escalate. Maybe not next year. I don't think anything's going to happen in 2024, to be quite frank. I feel like 2025 will be the year that something actually happens, because I feel like this year was just kind of rumors and stuff like that. I don't know, you guys. I don't know much about this situation, but what I do know is that it's like standing with the victim, If somebody got, this is like a pretty petty example because not petty example, but this is just like something that I think of. If someone got R-worded by somebody and they are making claims that this happened, would you stand for a potential R-word person, or would you stand with the victim, That's what's going on, at least in my eyes, If someone's being hurt, or if someone is hurt, I will stand with the person that is hurt before I stand with the potential suspect, And if things make a turn for the worse, I will still be proud of the fact that I stood up for someone that was possibly hurt, because what if, That's just one of the things that really blew my mind. I was like, ain't no way y'all are out here deliberately funding things for you because you can't get away from Starbucks. First of all, God, y'all, it just irritates me. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe that these people were being so rude about it too, At least have a discussion about it, and don't just be like, your tax dollars are always going towards it anyways, so may as well just put $9 more into it. If your mama was over there, would you still keep on that? Would you still stand on that? I hate that. That's just so selfish, That's just so rude. That's just not a vibe. I don't know. I feel like the internet's been a mess over this. And the fact that it's a mess and people are arguing about it. Do you not realize that the argument is what keeps the situation going? Do you not realize that the more that we bicker amongst ourselves, this will continue, because we are still bickering amongst ourselves and trying to get people to agree with us? If they don't agree with us, don't just leave them out of it, okay? Just don't let them agree with us. Who cares? If they don't want to agree, whatever, Getting one more person on board don't matter no more, because we have plenty of people on board to do something about this, but y'all out here trying to convince the people that don't care to care. That's like if you're in a toxic relationship with someone and you force them to make them see your worth. They don't care. Leave them. Screw them, okay? Go find someone else that does care. It just irritates me that people who want to stand up for this situation are also like, and obviously I'm part of the problem kind of, because I've been sitting here bickering about it, but it's just a sense of like, why are we collectively trying to convince people that clearly do not give a crap about the situation to make them care, you know? Leave them. Who cares about them, you know? Just, we need to do what we can, you know? The people who do care, you know? 5 people together in a situation is way better than 5 people arguing with one person because that one person don't care. They're just making it about themselves, okay? They're miserable. They're upset with their lives, okay? I would know because I used to be one of those people. Leave them alone. Leave them to be miserable. They just want attention. Go do something else, you know? We could all just donate $1, you know, and like what? There's like $30,000 right there, you know. Instead, we are holding these $30,000, being like, get this one person to donate $1. No, leave them. Who cares? You guys, it just really irritates me. Oh my god, because this government, our government, and this country profits off of us being divided, off of us being angry, off of us disagreeing with each other, you know? Why do you think there's 2 political groups that seemingly are the same thing, you know? The only difference is, y'all do not understand. It's not that simple. And I hate when people are like, may as well just play the game. Oh my god. Yes, play the game, but we can change the game, okay? Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion on this. A lot of this video has just been my opinions and my thoughts and feelings about this stuff because I just feel like, I don't know. It reminds me of when I'm with my friends and we're sitting there bickering amongst ourselves, deciding what to do. Who cares? Let's just get in the car and go somewhere, okay? We can decide on the way there. We don't have to sit here and waste time arguing about it. It just infuriates me. I hope you guys know what I mean because otherwise I know I look crazy, but I just, I think there's like real chocolate in this cocoa powder. Anyways, I want to end this on a light note. I want to end this on a lighter note. I don't know what the lighter note is actually, but yes, I want to, guys, I hope you will pray for me to find a good man that loves and understands me and appreciates me and, you know, loves me for me, and one that I like too, and one that I love when we find each other attractive and stuff like that. I don't know what all this was, but you know, but yeah, I just hope that you guys will pray for me. I'm so grateful to continue talking to you guys. I was so excited to talk to you guys again. I love talking to you guys so much. And yeah, my birthday is this Saturday as well, November 18th, and maybe I'll talk to you guys on my birthday, maybe I'll talk to you guys the day after, but it's this Saturday, and I just wanted to mention that, and I wanted to say thank you again to the person that texted me happy birthday. You know who you are. Your name starts with an L, and I love you so much. And I noticed that my other usual commenter, Idel, you haven't commented lately, and I hope you're doing well. And you know, if you aren't, sending you all the good vibes, all the positivity, all the prayers. The rest of you, I love you as well. I hope you're doing really well, and if not, I'm always here to listen to you and, you know, listen however much I can and say what I can and be there for you in the ways that I can. I don't know. I really love you guys, and I feel like you've played a huge part in me becoming happier with myself and living a better life. So yeah, what are we praying for this week? We praying for love, we praying for money, we praying for Palestine, we praying for good men existing and coming up here. We praying for clean laundry. We out here praying for good weather. Love that for us. See you next Sunday or this coming. See you soon. I love you.